What do you think of Ollie's comments? That's like the big thing.
Well, look, I think it's important to note that the team lost, 14-1 and didn't score again and got just lit up laser light show. But yes, I really didn't like that. I just don't like that at all.
Neither do I.
And so I was watching the game, but sometimes, you're watching the game. You're also going back and forth. You're doing things and whatnot. So I hear that. And he says, did you play the exact quote?
Yeah.
Okay. So people have probably heard it.
Yeah.
And whatever he said, it's one of his better outings, but he meant, velo was good, blah, blah, blah. But I hear that and I go, did I see something different? So I went back. Before I sent out my dumb tweet, I went and looked at Baseball Savant just to make sure, to look at some exit velos and whatnot. And I'm just thinking, why would you ever say that?
Don't know.
What was it, 4 1/3?
7
Ernies, 3 walks, 6 hits. I mean, a couple of walks setting up the homer.
Yeah.
And look, Ollie can say the velo was really good, but man, too many walks, one big mistake. That's all you have to say.
It's got to be better.
I just heard that and I go, I just feel like this team can be really tone deaf in the last year plus. Last year, this year. I just heard that and I go, what the F are you talking about?
I know. You and everybody else in town.
Why would you say that?
How about you help yourself? How about you help I just said that. I said, say something, and you don't need to bring the fans in every time you get your ass kicked. I get that. But I think right now it's enough games to kind of see where this Cardinal team is. You know what the temperature is in this town with the fans. Say something like, don't bash Matz, but just say, no, he needs to be better. No, he needs to be better.
Cam.
We don't want to get our asses kicked at Busch Stadium like that either.
How easy is it to say, hey, velo was good, but man,
you need to be better.
You got to be better. Too many walks, big homer, got to be better.
Come on.
It's so easy.
I know.
It's so easy.
He's digging himself a hole with just little things like that, God dang.
I was hoping Monday's game was the start of something. It felt like that.
Yeah.
I think we all want it to happen.
Well, Cole maybe.
Well, maybe not Cole.
And maybe a couple other guys.
No, I was actually kind of disappointed when I saw that they came back and hit the walk-off.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're really just all in.
He's all in it. Yeah.
But, and here's why I heard a little bit more. Because it felt like it was actually a really important win.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, I agree. Because, think if they don't, Monty versus Gibson. Now, I know that Monty hasn't pitched all that much, but they haven't won the final game of a series yet. If you lose 6 in a row and get swept twice against two teams that are... I think the Brewers actually might be worse than the Cardinals. I know that the Brewers are off to a hot start, but preseason expectations, I looked at their roster, I'm like, who are these people?
But they're a smart organization. They find value. The Cardinals seem to now get guys and the value erodes.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
It is.
By the way,
the value rises when they leave.
Well, that's another part of it. I think we look at this as a 162-game season. That's not the case, in my opinion, for the Cardinals. I looked this up the other day. It's a 107-game season until the trade deadline. So it's not as early as you think. It's 107 games until whatever the day is, July 30th, till you maybe have to make some tough decisions. Either way, it could still be a positive. They could still add. It is early enough, obviously, to turn this around. But I think when you think of it as a 162-game season, it's not. Because if you get to game 107, whatever it is, trade deadline, and you're down bad, there's a lot of guys on one-year deals, and it would make a lot of sense to move many of them.
Like who?
Well, hell, your pitchers that are on one-year deals, which would be Gibson and Lynn. We all know about Goldie. This is a crazy year if the Cardinals don't turn it around.
Who do you like this year so far?
Who do I like? I love Sonny Gray.
Damn
How
right.
can you not love Sonny Gray?
Yeah, damn right.
Love Sonny Gray. Helsley has been really good. JoJo Romero has been really good. Andrew Kittredge, love him. Love Ivan Herrera.
Yes.
How can you not love Wilson Contreras? By the way,
there you go.
Let's give him some credit, not just with the bat, because, look, he wasn't good defensively last year. And I looked this up yesterday. As of, I don't think they included last night, but he was +5 defensive runs saved. So he's good defensively. You know who's not is Herrera this year. It's early.
Yeah.
Now, Herrera's actually caught more innings than Contreras. Contreras has been, banged up, has the hand and all that. But Contreras has been better defensively as well. So, look, I think Mason Wynn, clearly better than, I don't want to say better than advertised, but I think we thought he might struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Nootbaar, I don't think you can complain about Nootbaar. I'm trying to go around the diamond. He's getting there slowly. I think the power will come with him, but he's not terrible. Like, he's not where Goldie is. He's just hitting a lot of singles.
Who are you worried about the most?
Man, I'm worried about Jordan Walker the most. I think Goldie will find his way back to at least league average. And I understand that's still a big drop.
Yeah.
But Jordan Walker is in send down category because he's also not playing very much. Right?
Yeah, which I actually commend them for actually pulling the trigger on that, because I feel like due to expectations and how people have been talking about him for years before he even got here, I feel like benching him for a guy named Siani, who no one seemed to care about, I feel like it's actually kind of a tough move, but I feel like it's justified at this point.
Yeah, there was high hopes for Walker this year, man.
Oh, yeah, to take a step. I mean, he was
good last year.
Trying to get my headphones set up here. Yeah, I mean, look, we all know defensively he had issues last year, but he was pretty dang good offensively. And whatever, is he 21, I think? Whatever it is.
Maybe 22.
So
maybe.
I think everybody thought, okay, first time in the bigs, pretty dang good offensively, pretty solid, will improve defensively. But, hey, this is the year, sophomore season, where you take a step offensively. And it's been the exact opposite.
I know.
He looks overmatched.
What about Michaelis? You worried about him?
I am.
Yep.
Big time. Big time.
I know.
And also, I mean, he's under contract for next year.
Damn, man.
Miles Michaelis allows a lot of contact.
Yeah, he gets beat around a little bit.
And even his outing the other day, remember, you had the Siani catch at the wall.
Yeah.
A wind gust, and that's a grand slam. So, Miles Michaelis...
Walker, Michaelis, and Goldie, top three worrisome?
Definitely Jordan Walker, Miles Michaelis, Goldie. I just think Goldie's also a guy where you never know with players as they get to their mid-30s.
I know, dude.
Right? And that's the same with Michaelis.
Slow down.
I just feel like a guy like Michaelis, he's not going to age well. I mean, he will physically, he looks good. But if you're 35, 36, you don't strike guys out, that's not going to improve over time.
A lot of drama, Charlie.
And that's why, look, I still...
Does that look like 35,000 to you?
No, it does not.
I still believe this offense is going to be okay. When I look at the names, there's a lot of names that I have confidence in. I understand right now that sounds crazy, but, man, I actually feel like the starting rotation has in a way, like early they had pitched a little better than we thought. And if you're a person who looks at FIP, there's some guys like Lance Lynn even who you can see a regression back in terms of ERA. And I love Lance Lynn. Don't get me wrong. But if he's your 2, Sonny Gray's fantastic.
It's awesome.
But Kyle Gibson can have some really lopsided outings. I feel like for him, ERA is a little misleading because his good outings are pretty dang good, but his bad outings are really bad.
He gets rocked.
I think Michaelis is going to struggle all season.
Is Gibby
Steven
pitching
Matz
tonight? Or
today.
Today.
Yeah.
Go to that game with your son.
I think I'm going to.
12, 15, 70 degrees, sunny, beautiful. It's going to rain the next couple days.
Yeah.
Might as well go. Mm-hmm. Little Charlie. Aw.
Yeah, he's never been to a game.
Take pictures, please.
I think we will.
Take pictures.
So the text line, were people calling in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they're pissed. I mean, they're confused with the Ollie thing, it's just like such an easy thing to
That's
avoid.
why I don't get it.
You know, and if I'm Ollie, like, you're hearing it left and right. You heard it last year. You're hearing it again this year. And then to go out there and just kind of tiptoe around that, it's like, no, man. Like, let the people know that you see that. Now they're like, are you watching the same damn game? Come on. Help yourself out.
Just be accountable. These are pros. Steven Matz is how old? He's in his 30s. He's a big boy. He can take it.
Exactly.
He can take it.
Yeah, he's going to be okay. Okay.
I understand if you have a 21-year-old and you want to make your comment, and I don't even agree with that, but I understand it. Steven Matz is a big boy. He's been in the big leagues for what? Probably pushing a decade. It's okay.
It's okay.
You
It's
can
fine.
say the velo was good. We liked whatever it was.
Sure.
96.
Sure.
You can't walk everybody. You can't give up the Bombski.
Not to mention, like, these fans watch hockey too, and they watch Berube, and Berube doesn't do that. I
The
mean,
Cardinals didn't used to do that.
what's going on?
Even Schilt. It's funny how everybody wants Schilt back. And I do look, from a media standpoint, I'm not gonna lie. And I always say this. I want the Cardinals to win the World Series every year. But if they don't, I prefer a catastrophe. I'm just being real. Boring in the middle is boring.
It's boring.
But if you go back, look, I know everybody wants Schilt back, and I do think there were a lot of things better under Schilt, but we remember the whole Elmer Fudd every day. He also was real he was real kind of sensitive about criticizing. Remember that? I mean, we joked about that all the time. Oh, dadgum.
Dadgummit, they worked their butts off.
So there was a lot of that too. Let's be real.
That's the one thing when managers say that. God, they worked their butts off. Like, what does that mean?
Did Matheny do that?
I don't remember.
I don't feel like Matheny did. I don't think he really liked.
Schilt would say that
meeting with
after
the
every
media.
single loss. That he would say that, God, the boys sure worked their butts off, their tails off.
Working their tails off.
What does that mean in baseball?
Everybody works their tails off.
What
You're
does that
paid.
mean?
You're paid to work your tail off.
I mean-
You are a professional athlete. That is the minimum. That's the minimum.
God Almighty, it's baseball. You don't want them to work that hard because they'll swing out of their shoes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. And hockey is different. You're back checking, getting back, blocking shots. Maybe something trickles in, you lose a game. No, they worked hard. They were working their ass off. They had 20 hits in that period. They're working hard. They're doing this. But in baseball, when you say that, it's just a cop-out.
I also think sometimes in baseball, it sounds weird, you want to work less hard.
That's what I mean.
Like, you don't want to grind yourself. We'd always joke back in the day about Matt Carpenter. He would show up too early.
Yeah.
He would take too many swings in the cage,
Yeah.
right? Paralysis by analysis. Sometimes you can watch so much video that you get in your own dome. Sometimes you do need to go in there and say, see ball, hit ball. I know I'm kind of joking, but truthfully, baseball is a little different. I feel like, hockey is an energy, emotional sport. Baseball in the batter's box, you need to be very calm.
Yeah.
You need your body and your muscles to be very relaxed. Of course, you strike somebody out, you hit a bomb, you can bat flip and go crazy.
Yeah.
But before that, you got to be just nice and centered.
Let's go. Focus.
You got to be
focus.
a Buddhist.
Eye on the ball. Focus. Yeah. Oh, man. I love your game tweets when it's bad. Keep it up, Charlie. We need the humor. We need the humor. Totally serious on that, Sharon.
To be fair, though, thank you, Sharon. I was very positive the day before.
Yeah.
Folks, I don't want this team to be like this.
But if you are,
It's just weird.
I know. Everything about it is.
I'm telling you.
Is this beneath them?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I agree.
By the way, I was doing the math. This is now, we're pushing 190 games of bad baseball. Last year,
190.
we're pushing 190 games of head-scratching moves and decisions. The Cardinals never did things. They never did things like this. Ever.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I feel like they've lost. I hate to say they've lost the Cardinal way. It's so cliche, but I feel like they have. Top down.
Yeah, man.
From a PR standpoint, I feel like they don't get it. Tone-deaf moves. Even I understand why they extended Ollie. I still don't agree with it, but everything they do now is tone-deaf.
I know.
Right? I mean, and look, I have all the respect in the world for John Mozeliak, but opening day and whatnot, if you don't understand, and I'm sure he does, if you don't understand why the fans are booing, fans are pissed, man.
They're pissed.
Fans are pissed.
They are.
Sometimes I feel like the fans are the smartest of all of us. Dead serious.
I know.
Sometimes I feel like I've been thinking a lot about this with the Cardinals philosophically, and I think what happens is the Cardinals were so good for so long that we just always assume they're smarter than we are, right? When they make a move, for 10 years you'd go, okay, well, they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But now you go, no, actually they don't. But it takes a while to realize that.
You're right.
It's like a season of Alabama football. Alabama football, if they don't win the national championship that year, if they're not number 1 in the country, Alabama. Let's say they're number 6. They're still favored in every game, and every time you watch them, you expect them to become Alabama football, Nick Saban, because it's Alabama. It's almost like you can't believe they're not going to win the national championship, right?
Yeah.
With the Cardinals, they did everything right for 10-plus years, so you keep offering them the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like they've lost that. I feel like they've lost the benefit of the doubt. And it takes, look, they built up a lot of equity. They built up John Mozeliak did build up 8-10 years of equity of great decision-making. So it takes a while for that to erode, but I feel like that's now eroded.
We just want to watch an enjoyable game. Games like yesterday are just terrible. Cole seems fine with his takes as he's backed off on the Cardinals in general, but eventually when all this failure continues, he will break out and bash these Cardinals.
Here's what it comes down to, and I figured this out in an exchange with a texter. It may have actually been that texter. I don't know.
Put a name in 314. We love you.
Put your name in.
It wasn't that one. It was a texter who had a name. I forget who it was already. But the reason I'm not freaking out this year versus last year, they're kind of meeting expectations. Now, the crime is against the Cardinals for allowing expectations to get this low, but am I tremendously shocked? I mean, I went through a couple of days ago the first 5 series of the season or whatever it was. They were beating who they were supposed to beat. They were losing to who they were supposed to lose to, and they've been splitting with who they've supposed to been splitting with. So, yeah, I think they're actually kind of meeting my expectations, which is why, the level of disappointment in anything is how you're performing relative to expectations. I think they're meeting expectations to a degree. Now, you don't get swept by Milwaukee. You take one. Don't get swept by Arizona. You took one.
Win the last game in Oakland.
Actually, preferably win this series because Arizona just beat you 2 out of 3 in their place. So I think that despite the fact that Arizona just won the National League, I think they kind of overperformed. So I don't think Arizona is all that much better than you. I do think they are better than you. But I think this is a series that you should win, but in general, the Cardinals have not been drastically underperforming to me. So I think that's why it sounds like I'm being more fair. It's kind of more apathy because I'm like, my expectations were this low.
All right. I get you on that.
That's also just a factor of me not being a Cardinals fan. If it were a Cardinals diehard, dyed in the wool since birth, they'd probably be up here and they'd be ticked off and annoyed all the time. And last year, they were incredibly underwhelming. And I think that's kind of played into the tone. I already told you. I think also just this being 3 months of the Wayno show definitely had a factor in in that as well. But
the Wayno show.
Part of the reason I sound like I'm more controlled is because they're kind of meeting my expectations.
And you're matured. You are maturing. You are, Cole.
How about the offense, though? Did anybody think the offense was going to be this bad? I thought the offense would be good. I'll be the first one to say.
No, we said that.
I thought the offense was going to be good. It's early. It's early, right? Okay. Home runs. They are second to last in baseball. The White Sox. The White Sox are last. OPS. They're 26th.
Not good.
That is 5th worst in baseball. Runs. Now, teams have played different amount of games, but they are 5th worst in baseball. I never thought the offense would be this bad. I'll be the first person to say. I never thought. You can still go through the names. There's a lot of names that should be better. That's where it's hard for me to criticize the front office in terms of the names that aren't producing, right? You can certainly criticize them for the last 5-6 years where it seems like they just never know which outfielder to keep. That's 100% fair. But if you look at the names entering this season, the pitching was the focus, right? There's a lot of guys. Like I don't think look, the should they have traded Paul Goldschmidt last year, this year? 100% fair argument. But I don't think we thought Goldie would become bad. I don't think we thought Jordan Walker would get sent down, right? I don't think we thought, and I still don't believe Nolan Arenado will not hit for power all year long. But so far, no power.
What about Gorman?
Gorman's so feast or famine. I just feel like Gorman could be Schwarber-esque. Now he would need to walk more, but he strikes out a ton. But I think he's going to have the streaks where he hits a lot of bombs. But then if he's off a tick, he's going to look really bad.
Here's one for you. Mayor of Newtown chimes in and goes, the St. Louis Cardinals are now the Nebraska Cornhuskers of college football. Damn.
That's bad.
Dude.
It's a bad place to be.
When I was at Eureka, It was Nebraska football, baby.
Tommy Frazier.
Nebraska football. Smash mouth. Nebraska. God, the coach is a football coach. Nebraska football. And then I kind of look back on it now. I'm like, damn, Nebraska kind of fell off a little bit for years and years. That was in 2002, 2001. They were saying that.
Oh, Tom Osborne, man.
Oh, 90s too.
90s.
For sure.
When they start falling off? 2006.
So if you remember, there it is. That's always when I'm buying time. You know why? Because I couldn't remember the guy's name. Bo, the coach. Bo.
For who?
For Nebraska. Text line, Bo Pelini.
Bo Pelini.
Remember they fired
From
Bo
Youngstown.
Pelini from the cradle of coaches. I'm pretty sure Bo Pelini was fired maybe after a 9-win season. Was he about 9-4?
Yeah.
That wasn't good enough.
After the bowl game.
And so he gets fired, and they've been crap since. I'm not saying, look, Nebraska football has higher aspirations than 9 wins, but I think it also shows you things can get much worse.
Man, dude. If you don't think managers matter, you didn't watch the 2011 World Series. Tony completely managed circles around Washington.
100%. And the bullpen.
And the what series?
2011 World Series.
The whole playoff run.
run.
He bullpenned. He basically had Chris Carpenter, who literally threw his body and arm off. He was never the same. I think he threw 270 innings that year total, if we look it up.
Holy Toledo.
Look it up. I think he threw about 35 playoff innings and something like 230
Damn.
in the regular season. We can check that. But he had Chris Carpenter. I mean, who else was making starts? Jaime Garcia. He bullpenned the crap out of that whole playoff series. The whole playoff run, really.
There you go, Cole.
237. Factor in
For the regular season?
for the regular
That's
season.
a lot of innings. He was never the same. Remember he had thoracic outlet surgery after that?
Yeah.
And you said 2011 World Series?
No. I think he threw probably 35 playoff innings total.
I'm seeing what's 17 plus 19, 36.
Yeah.
Do you see all these clips of John Boy every single day of these umpires? So god awful.
Is it more than Angel Hernandez?
No, it's not. It's him. It's all of them. It's every single night. Every single night. It's really bad. We asked Matty about that. He gave a pretty damn good answer because they have a different. What did he say they do in the minors there, Cole? Where they do 2-3 innings of the
Robo ump?
Yeah, and then they go and they change it and stuff like that. But it's literally every day, and they're so off, dude. Like a foot outside, and then the umps they're really sensitive. 4 strike, 1 soda the other day. 4. It was.
I saw that one.
Yeah,
Not one strike he saw.
not one.
Remember the Donovan at bat from over the weekend?
Yeah.
Where they got him outside and inside? Neither of those pitches were strikes.
How could the ump get so defensive about that when we all know that it was a ball?
They shouldn't be defensive. I do think these pitchers these days have so much action. They have so much movement on their pitches. It is probably really, really hard. When you got these, if you follow Pitching Ninja,
Yeah.
you see these dudes have now, 20, 25 inches of break, right?
Even without the sticky tack?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're finding a way to have something else, to get grip.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying they're doing it illegally, but there's still guys who are freaking wizards.
Joe, listen to Tuna segment when he comes on our show today, okay? We're going to do white trivia for Tuna and black trivia for Cam and Charlie.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I'm going to do really good. Let's see here. The manager and the front office have traffic cone level self-awareness. I can't wait for a repeat of last year. Only way to see actual changes. Bring on a disaster.
That's where I think the fans, there's a lot of truth to that. And I do believe, regardless of what happens, Mozeliak has a year and a half left. If I'm Bill DeWitt, take your Cardinal fandom out of it. Think about it if you're running a business, right? You are Cam Janssen or Cole Bartemes. You are Bill DeWitt Jr., okay?
Yeah.
And you're getting up in years, and you want to have one more run. You want one more nice run. Would you keep it in-house? Would you keep it in-house in terms of who succeeds John Mozeliak? Would you say, hey, I like the trend line of my organization, let's say for the last 5 to 7 years. So whether it would be Randy Flores, Gersh, whoever, would you keep it in-house? Or would you say, I think we need organizational change. And by the way, Chaim Bloom from outside the organization, what I'm trying to say is if I was running that business, I would want a fresh set of eyes to come in because I think they need top-down change.
If I'm Billy DeWitt the second, and I know I'm getting up in age, I'm going all in.
That would be nice, too.
No, I'm going all in.
That's what I would do.
I know.
Who cares about your kid's inheritance?
That's
what Mike Ilitch did.
You've had enough.
Yeah.
Mike Ilitch,
you had it good.
They spent.
When Mike Ilitch was about ready to die, I hate to say this, he just started spending for the Tigers. And they didn't even win a World Series, but they got there a couple times.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Prince
Wouldn't
Fielder,
you?
Miguel Cabrera.
Hell yeah.
That's what I would do.
I'd get all the monsters.
Hey, grandkids, instead of your trust fund of, I don't know, $14 million, you're going to get $11 million each, and I'm going to buy a frickin' starter.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Exactly.
Now, again,
or three of them.
By the way, he's not that old. I'm just saying, if you look at it, if you want one more really nice big run of 5 to 8 years, I just feel like from drafting, developing, from knowing how to evaluate what you have and what the rest of the league has. They don't win trades anymore.
I know.
Right?
I know.
They don't. They don't seem to have any more of a coaching advantage where they used to always have that. Dave Duncan would bring everybody in and improve them. Now, look, it's not one guy anymore. It's every outfielder seemingly leaves here and is better. Why is that the case? What are you doing wrong? What are other teams doing right? And again, the Cardinals were never like this. The Cardinals were the model organization for a long, long time. They had that advantage, but then they lost it.
How's Randall Grichuk doing? He still looks like a stud.
Randall Grichuk, I haven't looked at the numbers. I know he's always going to hit you 20 homers and strike out a lot. Good dude.
He's a good dude, eh?
Fun guy. Yeah. I loved Randall Grichuk.
Big fun guy. I still think this offense is going to be okay.
I agree.
Wow, how far this once storied franchise has fallen, Wombat.
Okay.
Yeah, he was quoting, I think, Jim. Oh God, he's on Jim.
But I also said that. I mean, come on. Do you really think? We also got to remember that as the weather heats up. Now, look, the Cardinals can't fall too far back, but you're going to have a month all of a sudden where Arenado and Goldie hit 4, 5, 6 homers for a couple months in a row, and all of a sudden the numbers are going to look much better.
Yeah, I hear that.
But you can't fall too far back, though.
Army is real and seems to talk to you and not down to you like we're all morons, like that dipshite Mo. That's why even if the Blues are bad, we respect them still. Now, Army's got his problems, too. Not quite. He's not taking a beating like Mo. But Army is taking a beating from the Blues fans. He's made a lot of mistakes that seem kind of biting us in the ass right now, and it shows. It does. Let's see here. La Russa had so many bullpen arms he didn't remember them.
That's true.
Rajinski, Jasinski, and that's not spelled right, but you know who I'm talking about. Sharon.
Scrabble.
Hell yeah, kids are born with a spoon in their mouth and blow it all away. Screw your dang kids. Spend the money. That's my motto.
Plus, it's not even good for your kids.
No.
You give your kids a little bit of money. Or, you know what? You give them money when they're 50. You don't give them money when they're young. You make them work for it. So, Bill DeWitt Jr., if you're driving in the ballpark and you're listening right now, okay, and Bill the third, you're fine.
We love you.
I mean, he's already, 50? He's good. He's good. Okay, just buy a bunch of players.
Load up.
Just go out, guns blazing.
God, that's what I would do.
Buy everybody.
Bam, 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 bam.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd
Who
be
cares?
I'd be the Dodgers.
Wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, if I was 80,
I'd be the Dodgers.
I would buy everybody. I really would.
I would, too.
I really would. I'm dead serious. I would not care. As long as, dude, you're going to take care of your kids and your grandkids. They'll be fine.
They'll be all right.
Relatively speaking.
You'll pack that house just to see the monster.
But that's another thing. Everybody always says, oh, you can't run a business like that. I understand that long term, but don't you think for a year or so, you have to prove to this fan base that you care? They're not showing up, by the way.
I know.
Nobody's going to the games. No one is going to the games. And I've never seen the fan base more pissed.
I know.
That's why I was joking yesterday. My joke was more about that.
The insurrection? Yeah.
Well, no. From a societal standpoint, we crave negativity over positivity. The only reason I brought this up, this was yesterday during the day, and I'll be quick. I know nobody likes to hear about YouTube analytics.
You're good.
But we posted this podcast, and it was like, hey, the Cardinals finally won. It was the best win of the season. And I looked at it about 2 hours in, and it said 7 out of 10. And so I looked, and I just laughed because I looked at top 6. Top 6 were all negative as hell. And I just laughed, and I'm like, people want negative.
You're dang right.
But the bigger picture is Cardinal fans are really smart. We joke about it. We joke about BFIB, baseball heaven. Cardinal fans know this team isn't that good.
Oh, yeah.
They know the ceiling of this team is probably 83, 84, 85.
Yeah, dang right.
And you know what? They also know that this starting rotation is not going to hold up. It isn't. I know you can focus on the offense, which we should. The offense is horrendous. Dude, this starting rotation is not going to hold up for the season. It just isn't. I guarantee you that.
I know.
I mean, Matz goes 5 innings. Michaelis, I mean, that's another year and a half of Michaelis making good money where you're going to put him in the rotation. Sonny Gray's awesome. Kyle Gibson is very volatile, and I absolutely love Lance Lynn. But if you look at it from a FIP standpoint, he will probably regress. And don't get me wrong, I love Lance Lynn, but I want Lance Lynn to be my 3 or 4. That's why everyone on earth said you need 2 top-end guys. They got 1.
Well, we're going to see another one today, 12:15, and you're going to see him with little Charlie.
But how about you also misread the market. Like you got in there early, and you got all of the Gibsons and the Lynns, and this was a market where because of volatility and uncertainness with TV rights, all these great pitchers were available at the end.
Do you think they overpaid for Gibson and Lynn?
Well,
They
I'm just
got
saying,
him for like $6 million apiece?
Well, no.
If they waited?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying you did misread the market because clearly Jordan Montgomery and the Blake Snells of the world were there at the end on very short deals. Right?
Yeah.
They went out early and got 2, let's say 4s or 5s. We all love Sonny Gray. Let's give them credit for that. We all love Sonny Gray.
Pretty dang good.
But they needed more.
Wow. My neighbors straight up tell their kids, we are spending your inheritance. Better make a good living for yourself. That's exactly how it should be. I would even lie to my kids, even if you don't spend the money, and tell them that you are spending the money. And then once you do pass away, like, oh, this is a surprise, just so they work their ass off the whole time.
Yeah, and again, when they're 40, 50, that's different.
Yeah.
But when they're young, I don't think it's good to give kids a lot of money. Give them what they need.
I know some people that have a ton of money, and I look at their kids, and I'm like, ay.
A lot of entitlement.
Oh, my God.
I
It seeps through them.
Look, I would never say, look, we had all the money in the world in terms of we had everything we needed as a kid, but we were just middle class. Not poor by any means. Not rich by any means. And I love the way I grew up.
Me too.
I really do.
So do I.
I absolutely love it.
Sometimes it's healthy to listen to your mom and dad complain about money.
And also,
You're like, I don't want ever to complain about money ever in my life.
and you know this, dude, you went to the store. If you went to the store for shoes, you knew there was a tier,
Yes.
right? There was 3 tiers, let's say.
Yes.
Now, in Ohio, we called them buddies. Buddies were the shoes that you couldn't buy buddies because you were going to get made fun of if you had buddies.
Those are like the Jordans now.
No. But the buddies are the really, really bad ones.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying the Marlow shopped in the middle tier.
Yeah.
The middle tier is, okay, they're Nikes, but they're the low-end Nikes.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to make fun of you. And by the way, nobody should make fun of anyone. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're not getting Reebok pumps.
I remember my dad bought me Tommy Hilfiger was huge in the 90s, and he bought me Tommy Hilfiger jeans, and I wore them every single day. And I was like proud. And he even said Tommy Hilfiger on the back patch, and I would wear a belt and tuck my shirt in and put the belt underneath so the Tommy Hilfiger would stick out, and I was so proud. Made me feel great. Like, wow, dang, okay. Wow, I'm wearing Tommy Hilfiger jeans. And then I wore them every day, and then you look like a Hoosier eventually.
And can I say this, too, now that I'm a parent? Sometimes it is hard to not give your kids stuff just to shut them up. And I love my kids, but sometimes your kids are so damn annoying. Like when they want a treat or something, they're just driving you nuts. Like,
Technology.
But also, there are times where you're just doing things and, right, you got something to do, you got a phone call, you're driving, whatever. And sometimes you don't want to give them the iPad, but sometimes for your sanity, you have to. Sometimes
I get what you're saying.
Give me a popsicle. And the thing to do is not give them a popsicle. You shouldn't give them a popsicle, but sometimes your brain is just, you need to calm down.
My mom and dad, if I would be like when I was young, if I wanted something to eat that was something unique, they would they would probably do that more than me going to a store and say, I need this little toy that I'm going to play with for a day, and then it's going to be sitting down there. They would never buy me that crap. But if I'm like, Dad, man, I'm hungry. Can we stop by and get a sundae? He'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get a sundae. But if I'm in a toy store, like, I want that toy. He'd be like, no. You're not playing with that toy. You're going to play for 2 seconds. You don't need that damn thing. We got to get out of here, blah, 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 blah. So there was a good balance that they had.
That's
Really
another thing. Toys. Your kids don't need any more toys. They have too many toys. They get too many toys for birthdays, Christmas. It just it takes over your house. They have so much crap.
Yeah.
There's so much crap. Every time I go and clean our basement, I could almost throw away a large garbage can full of crap toys. You know, you go to a birthday party, everybody gets a little trinket bag. It's just crap.
Crap.
Little games, little spinners, little things you twist, little jacks, little yo-yos.
Bop it.
It's all crap.
Yeah.
It's just crap. And we all do it.
Yep.
Parents should all stand together and not give out the treat bags.
It's trash.
Although we all do it, and I do it too.
It's trash is what it is.
It's in your car. You know, you sit on it, you're like, what's in my ass? Oh, it's a freaking bouncy ball.
Yeah.
As of right here, right now, kids are how old?
Kids are 6 and almost 3.
What is the plan for what age to give them a cell phone?
That's a great question. I want to be the last. I want to be the last parent to do that.
But
No, I don't know. I mean,
do you feel like there's anything exclusionary to that, though? Because at the same time, you don't want your kid to be the one that's left out if all the other classmates have cell phones, and then you're like, shoot, I'm kind of messing with their social life at this point. It's harder for them to, well, they can make friends at school, but it's hard for them to keep friends outside of school if all their friends are texting each other and they're not in the group checks.
what if I do want them left out?
Oh.
Ooh. No, of that. Does anybody think cell phones are good for teens at all?
Well, what
By
if
the
they're
way-
with their friends and like it's a safety? Hey, where you at?
That's different. I think
Okay.
you could get a kid. You could get him like a texting
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Smartphones, dude. All that smartphones are now is just pornography.
Oh my
Look at Twitter. Twitter's just porn now.
Oh my gosh!
We
Ken.
settled
Seriously.
I forgot to mention the For You page. How about that?
Did you see that?
The NASCAR video with all the women.
And I liked that video from Talladega.
So did I.
Go ahead and send me that. Real
That's
quick.
different.
Oh, you see Michael
That's just
Jordan
good, clean
pump.
fun.
That was cool.
I
was
saw
awesome.
that video on like 7 different accounts. Everyone's like, "This is
No.
Talladega." I'm a NASCAR fan
No,
now.
there's dude. You go on For You. It's either death, stoning, a catastrophe, and then a girl that pops up and she is just doing her thing.
And look, by the way, the Talladega thing, Talladega infield is known for this.
Awesome.
So when a couple of girls at the camping site show their boobs, okay, to me that's different than if you go to X, it is hardcore
They're getting banged out.
pornography. And I mean, it's a joke now, but if you tweet something out, if you go, 2 out of the 10 comments will be blank in bio,
Yeah.
right? Blank in bio.
Text me. I'm lonely.
It's just straight up hardcore pornography.
hardcore pornography.
Elon needs to clean that up. Elon is good with free speech. He's not good with cleaning up the smut. It's actually,
Smut.
let's be real about this. It is 1,000 times worse.
It is.
It
kind
really
of.
is.
I don't remember that
It wasn't
much
like
porn
this.
on there.
Do you know why? This is why, and I'm not trying to get into this debate, but when people talk about censorship, you have to have these hardcore filters on social media just to take care of the bots and the porn. And the problem with that is, now sometimes they do it on purpose. Sometimes they are purposefully censoring people, and that's wrong. But if you don't have a filter, you will be overrun by porn bots, spam bots, crypto bots. And unfortunately, sometimes they catch comments that shouldn't be filtered. But if you don't do that, like whatever filter Elon put on X is not working.
No, it's got a hole in it.
So I understand his argument is probably, I would rather let free speech reign free than filter some that shouldn't be. But that's what you have to do, because X is becoming so non-user friendly because it's all pornography. At some
crazy.
point, you need to figure that out.
Smartphones for kids are bad. You're not just giving your kids access to the world, you're giving the world access to your kids.
There you go.
Yeah, big time. I'm the youngest of 5 on a blue-collar Ford production plant income. Mom didn't work. We had no extras, but wanted for nothing. If there were money problems we never knew, we always had everything we needed. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I was browsing Cardinals comments the other day, and 3 dudes on one girl popped up. Can't unsee that. I need bleach in my eyes. Humans are disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not even, look, dude, hey, look, if I see the Talladega video, I'm not going to lie. I watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yep.
when everybody goes, no, you're getting that because you look at that. No. By the way, we did this exercise live at Billy's on Broadway.
He got me.
And Cam's like, no, dude.
He got me.
The third image of For You was about as graphic as you can get.
Yep. Charlie goes, give me your phone. I go, okay. Looks at it live on the air. Boom, right there.
And by the way,
Kate's
just
like, oh, really?
Exactly. So if you said, okay, Charlie, you have a Twitter account for 10 years, so there's a history there. That's one thing. I understand that. So if I'm looking at that stuff, it's my fault. I created a brand new Twitter for Kenny Wallace. All I did.
He's following me.
All I did. Well, that's me. But yes, I run it.
Yeah,
but he's
I
also
wanted
no.
to
He
think,
loves
yeah,
you.
but I wanted to think.
He loves
God.
you.
Oh, God.
What I'm saying is, I started an account from zero.
Yeah.
So literally, I did not look at anything I shouldn't have. I started the account. I started posting NASCAR, following NASCAR, and engaging with NASCAR. And the For You tab was still all pornography.
Yep.
So that is the default setting, is pornography.
Yep. I get you.
I didn't do anything. Now again, the Talladega video, that's different.